What's up, everyone? Welcome to my second round of the Las Vegas Challenge. Shout out to Terry Miller for getting me the footage. I totally appreciate it. I'm excited to walk you guys through this round, what was going through my head, why I threw these shots, and just talk about what was going on. So here I'm throwing my Star Destroyer. I really did want to go for this shot, but I was kind of nervous for the OB, so I ended up left safe, which is actually not a bad place to be. So we're going to pause right here. I have been practicing this shot a lot during the off season, so it's actually a fan grip, but what I'm doing is I'm doing a throw slash putt. So it gets me that extra distance so I don't have to jump putt, which I've actually stopped doing just because it was super inaccurate and I felt myself shanking a lot. So with this putt slash throw, I'm able to get it to the basket, super accurate, and almost give it a run. So that's what I'm doing right here. Which I was super happy that I totally succeeded on that shot because, first hole, I'm pretty nervous. I'm on lead card, I'm on coverage, so felt good just to get the par and move on to hole 2. So here I'm throwing my Champion Roadrunner. I was trying to put it on a little bit more hyzer, but with this shot, it's low ceiling and you want it to skip, so I threw it a little too low. It left me with a simple forehand upshot, gave it a little bit of a run with my AVR X3, take my 3, walk away. I've always struggled with this hole. In the past, I think I've gotten some bogeys on it, just because the tee shot either wasn't good or the upshot, hit that big tree that kind of guards the basket, so I was stoked to just get the par. Alright, so we're going to pause on this hole. Hole 3, 270 feet, I'm throwing my Nate Sexton Firebird. So with this shot, I'm going left over the lake. A lot of people don't like to choose this shot just because it brings the lake into play and you have to hit it kind of perfect. But the reason I chose this is I'm kind of nervous on the backhand shot just because you have to put it pretty far out right with an overstable disc, which I would choose a Cayman. But I did it in practice and I either went too long because you want to get all the way over there before it gets left and either goes in the lake or just, doesn't get there. And I actually tend to early release more than anything on my backhand. So knowing I could just look straight, throw an easy forehand to this hole was just a lot easier for me and a lot more comfortable. So let's see what happens. And boom, super consistent. A lot of people gave me crap for throwing my 2015 Nate Sexton Firebird on that hole, but, right there. And I got the 2. I was so stoked to get a birdie this early in the round. Not feeling too nervous just because my putt's been feeling super confident, so that was awesome. Hole 4, that's kind of what I wanted to do, but obviously I threw it way too low. Lucky I got that skip off the dead grass. Here's that super easy fan grip upshot I've been doing. Another 3 kind of sucks because during practice I really wanted to get this hole. I feel like I could get there, but par is everything. As long as you don't get that bogey, you're good. So. Alright, hole 5. So I'm throwing my Star Destroyer. The goal is actually to go right side of that tree, but I didn't turn it over enough. Probably just a little bit of nervous going a little too far right because there is OB. So right here, I'm throwing my T-Bird, and I totally thought I was going to be like a perfect shot, and I ended up throwing it right in the bunker. So we're going to pause for a second. What went wrong on this shot? So off my tee shot, during practice, I was a little bit further so I could throw my T-Bird and have, the distance for it. But I guess I didn't really think about that when in the moment. I kind of just went off of my game plan from practice, but I probably should have thrown like a destroyer or something a little bit straighter with a little bit of fade, maybe like an FD, so it would have got the distance and then faded out left towards the basket. So could have fixed that one, but you know, had to stick to the game plan. You live and you learn. So during practice, I actually got a 3 on this hole, so taking a bogey kind of sucks, but you know, walk on, try and get a birdie on the next one. Okay, so we're gonna pause this one. Similar to hole 3, I kind of get nervous on this tee shot because you do have to put it out right and trust that your disc is gonna come back left. So I'm holding my AVRX3. If you want to see a video on that, you can go check that out in my YouTube. I actually did a review on the AVRX3. It's probably one of the best upshot discs. If you haven't tried it, go try it. But on this shot, I'm just trying to put it out right. I actually put a little bit of anhyzer on this shot, knowing that this one will come out. It's a little bit more beat than my other one, so I know it's going to go straight and then fade left. So let's see what happens. Exactly how I drew it up. So I put a little bit of Annie. You could tell it wasn't much because this disc is pretty beat in, so it's pretty straight. And you know, it landed inside the circle, but you know, this putt is pretty daunting. There's probably 15 to 20 feet behind the basket, but it's definitely downslope, so it could roll away if you miss. But my putt was feeling great, so I was super stoked to get that birdie on that hole, definitely because in the past I've either gone left OB or, you know, in the water. So it felt great to get that birdie. So on this tee shot, here I'm throwing my star T-bird. Let's pause for a second. In the past, on this exact hole, I've actually been pretty nervous just because you have all that water to your right and then you also have a cart path left. So if you go, you know, if you're off of your line a little bit, you're OB and you're taking an extra stroke. So what I do on this hole is there's a palm tree way out right, way high over the water. So I'm not even thinking about the water. I'm just thinking of like where I want my line to be. So I choose that palm tree and I'm literally just focusing on hitting that line, trusting that my star T-bird will do the job and get left. So in this upshot, I was throwing that straighter AVRX3. I probably could have gone with the more overstable one. I just kind of yanked it. I didn't really follow through or, you know, watch my shot afterwards. My head kind of got stuck, so that's why I kind of yanked it. But I saved par. It feels so weird to have, you know, that score be a par on this hole just because I feel like it's a simple 3. You know, you have a good drive and then an easy upshot. You should take your 3, but it's all good. Oh, how I want this shot back so bad. So we're going to pause here. So this is with my Champion Roadrunner. This is what I wanted to do. So I actually wanted to release it on a big amount of hyzer out to the left of the fairway. There is OB left, there's a cart path, but as you can see, this disc is pretty flippy. So I probably should have just trusted it. Should have put it on a big amount of hyzer out to the left, knowing that this thing would flip up, go straight, and even ride right because of the downslope down to the basket. Kind of wish I got that one back, and it would have been cool to see the flight of that disc be, you know, super perfect hyzer flip, but, you know, right now we're just left under this tree with like a knee shot. So this is with that same beat AVRX3. I'm just trying to get as close to the basket as I can, and I actually love the forehand upshot with this disc. So it got me right in the circle. A little bit of a tester for me, especially because there is OB behind the basket, 15 to 20 feet. But the putt was feeling good. So You know, I'm super stoked with the par on that hole. As you know, I'll keep saying I wish I got that too. You know, after your rounds, you're always thinking about what you could get back. So this tee shot was a little bit left, but I got lucky because this is my Beat 175 star strike. So I know I can put it on a little bit of hyzer and she's gonna flip up straight. So I'm happy I got in the fairway. Right here, I am throwing my Champion Cayman. I probably should have thrown like a Lone Howl or a Firebird for the extra distance. It kind of left me with an uphill putt, so, you know, I don't think they got it, but I missed that putt, which kind of sucked because going up to it, I was actually really confident I was going to make it. So we're just going to take a par on this one. Luckily, I didn't get anything worse because there is that bunker right to the right of it. Shout out to Innova, best sponsor in the game. Hole 10, so this is a pretty big par 4. You want to get yourself in the fairway. And I don't know what was going on. I don't know if it was my grip at the time or if I just wanted to throw so far that I just yanked it really far right. Luckily, I ended safe. You can't see it. It's behind my cart. I'm so lucky this was safe. So right now, I'm holding my Star Destroyer. I'm literally just looking to get back in the fairway to try and save my par. I was super stoked on this shot. There was that bunker a little bit to the right, which I was nervous about on the upshot, but came just short of it, so it was kind of perfect. So now I'm holding my Glow MD3. This thing's a little bit beat in. I was looking to aim a little bit more right, but I got lucky with that little skip to the right. So here's my putt for par. So lucky. You know, scramble shots for days. I got lucky on the tee shot, and then that upshot definitely saved me. So stoked with the par on that hole. Okay, pause. So on this hole, I'm looking to go down the gut with a little bit of hyzer, knowing that it will flip up. Frustrating, I don't know what happened. I think obviously I was having a little bit of early release on the day in general. I don't know if you saw in my early shots, but I was definitely releasing a little bit early. On this particular shot, I released it way early. It had no time to work at all, and then it left me with like, you know, 280 to 300 feet to go. So in my hand, I have my Mako 3 and my Roadrunner. I ended up choosing my super beat up Roadrunner just because I knew it would get the distance. But you know, this is a tough patent pending shot. I definitely don't practice these a lot. I probably should, just because this is like the last shot you want to resort to. So pretty short in the fairway, and I'm left with my fan grip throw putt. I was looking just to put it under the basket or even give it a little bit of run, and I ended up releasing it a little bit early and almost going OB. There's OB right next to that camera guy. So I'm putting for bogey at this point, kind of frustrated. But the putt was feeling good. This is a huge improvement for me since last year and honestly just years before. I've really struggled with putting just because, you know, I've had a lot of people help me with my putt or try and give me tips, and I end up kind of just doing what everyone else says instead of just doing what's comfortable for me. So at one point I just took everyone's advice, you know, bits and pieces, and then I ended up just making my own putt. And then during the off season, Colton and I went and putted at this course right next to my house almost every single day for an hour or two a day, and I really got confident with the putt. So it's really cool just to see the improvement from just last year of my putting, and that I'm, even when the camera's on, when I'm on lead card, that I can still make those putts even if my drives aren't doing awesome. So on this particular shot, I'm actually trying to throw an anhyzer with this destroyer. It's pretty overstable, and that's why it went so far left and into this bunker. That was kind of a shot in the heart. But I was trying to go right and then have it flex out by the basket, and I just released it early, and that's just the name of the game during this round. I don't know what's up, but I was just releasing everything pretty early. So I'm taking a bogey, walking away, and kind of upset, but my mindset's still intact. I've definitely been working on my mental side of my game, so I wasn't too upset, keeping my cool. I'm not one to really like hit my leg, so just trying to keep cool and fix it on the next hole. Which I didn't. I hit that little tree into the left of me. You can actually see my drive. I ended up actually going OB, so that really sucked. So pause. This was with my lone howl. It's a pretty overstable fairway driver, and what I tried to do, I don't know if you could tell, I was trying to throw an anhyzer with it, and honestly, just with the upslope and the distance of the basket, I probably just should have thrown my Star Destroyer just to get past the basket and, you know, give myself an actual run, an actual look for a putt. It definitely didn't feel good to go OB off the tee and then OB on the upshot putting for like a double. So, you know, you can improve. I just know that, you know, you should always just go past the basket if there's nothing behind it, especially if there's a bunker or any sort of OB in front of it. More validation that this putt has been on point. Save that double bogey. I could have definitely had more damage on that hole, so, you know, it's cool. And I made that putt and I was like, dang, like that was a pretty good putt, so I was stoked for myself. And more frustration. So that cart path that I just skipped off of is OB, another OB stroke I wish I could get back. It was an early release, it was grip issues, and on this shot, for some reason, I thought, oh, let's go big, let's try and hyzer flip a shrike and get some distance, and it went OB again. Oh, at this point, my card mates were kind of just like, geez, bro, like, yeah, I guess you're out over there, you know, and that kind of sucks. Okay, so this was with my Star T-Bird. This is probably one of my go-to fairway drivers. It's a straight to overstable, right below my lone howl. It doesn't go as far as my lone howl, and it doesn't have the stability of the lone howl, but it's a little bit slower and a little bit more controllable. So on this shot, I was frustrated with my drives. I was frustrated with going OB, so I took my T-Bird and I said, just put it out right, know that it's going to come back left, trust your disc, trust the ability that you can do it. And I put it right there, you know, give myself a putt, and so I was stoked. I at least did something right on this hole. And more validation that the putt was working. It's crazy because you guys saw I went OB twice and I still got a bogey. Like, imagine if I just kept it in the fairway on some of these shots, how awesome I'd be doing. I'd probably just be right there with like Evelina. Alright, so this was a pretty good shot. This was with my Star Shrike. I trusted it, but still I was kind of having some issues with my grip. And this is actually my upshot. They didn't get the upshot. And downhill putts have kind of been tough for me, so I ended up actually missing it a little bit right. And I took another bogey. So we're going to pause. So my mindset at this point, you know, I'm frustrated, but I'm still in the game. I'm still having a lot of fun with my card mates. I'm trying to stay positive. I'm trying just to kind of have short-term memory and forget about the last hole and try and just focus on the next one. If anything, I'm thinking of like the next day, or I'm thinking of the next hole, just trying to improve and trying to get better and not get so down on myself, because I've done that in the past and then I end up doing even worse. So just trying to move on, take it, leave it, walk away. Alright, hole 16. This was probably one of the better drives I actually had. I actually committed to it. my run-up was a little bit slower, and I don't know if I finally found some good dirt or what, but I finally figured out how to throw a good drive. So that was with my Star Destroyer, perfect line, exactly where I wanted it. And actually, I think 2 years ago, I threw all the way to the basket and ended up getting a 3 on this hole, which is kind of huge. But this year, I'm just going for this simple par. So I'm just laying up before that green. And here I have my AVRX 3. And I early released it again. I don't know what my deal was. I think it was just a lot of things. I wasn't nervous. A lot of people said, oh, maybe she was nervous. The camera was there. But I really wasn't. It was just frustration. Boom! That putt was huge. So talking about this putt, it was actually kind of a death putt because behind the basket, there's a big slope and then there's the green to the right. So I've actually seen people go for this kind of putt, hit the rim or something, and then roll all the way OB. So when I walked up to this putt, I kind of was just like, I didn't even think about what was behind it. I was just like, make this putt. You need to make this putt. You've made too many mistakes before. You need to keep going. So that was awesome. But also, I do want to give a shout out to Nate Sexton. Those are the Fireflies I was putting with. They're actually these ones, but they don't have the cool Nate Sexton stamp. So shout out to Nate Sexton. This putter has been a game changer for me. If you want to check that out, I'll leave a link in the description or a little swipe. But definitely check out these putters. They're super neutral, especially when they're brand new. They're dead straight, and then once you beat them in, if anything, they just glide a little more. So these have been my go-to for almost a year now, and I'm absolutely loving it. So go check them out. All right, hole 17. This is kind of a tough shot for me. I'm trying to get in the center, but I ended up turning this Roadrunner over a little too much, leaving me kind of in the crap out to the right, so off the fairway. So right here, I have my 2015 Nate Sexton Firebird. This shot was awesome. So pause. This is actually one of my favorite shots in disc golf because you have something super overstable, and since I've been working on my forehand and perfecting my forehand, I've actually come to love this shot. So what I'm doing is I'm stepping out, and I have this overstable driver, and I'm trying to put it on a huge anhyzer left of the basket, knowing that it's going to pan out to the basket. So that's exactly what I did with this Nate Sexton Firebird. I just aimed way left, huge anhyzer, knew it would come out, and boom, put me right in the circle. Scramble golf, boom. Alright. So that felt good after, the previous holes, kind of rough. Katrina actually bombed a drive on that one, so that was really cool to see. Alright, hole 18, I'm trying to get as close to the water as I can, of course without going OB. This is with my Star T-Bird. For some reason, I decided to get my Star Strike out. During practice, I kind of laid up, but I was, for some reason, feeling myself. And in this moment, I'm like, no way, I just went OB again, and it came all the way back safe. I got so lucky. When I walked up, I was so stoked. So here is my Star AVRX 3. Pause. This is the best upshot disc ever. So like I said in the earlier, I'm going to say it again. I did a review on this disc. Please go check that out. I love this disc for approach shots, so go check it out. Alright, in the end to a very long round. So definitely a roller coaster. There was a lot of ups and downs to that round. Shout out to Terry Miller for getting this footage to me. It's funny, when Terry and I talked about this video, Paige literally posted a video of her talking about doing something very similar. So Paige actually did her own, I think she calls it My Perspective. I think she used GK Pro's videos, and she did her own commentary similar to what I'm doing. So if you want to, go check out her channel and see her commentary on her videos, her insight. I think this is a really cool idea for all of us to do, for you guys to see our shots, to see what was going through our head. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know in the comments if you like this idea, if I should do more of this kind of stuff. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel and to Terry Miller's channel. He does some amazing stuff for women's disc golf. But thank you guys so much. Let me know how you liked it and keep crushing it.